Well, my name is Rafael Martinez-Ybor. I am the great-grandson of Vicente Martinez-Ybor, who was the founder of Ybor City. I'm pleased to say this is my 42nd year with the Rotary Club of Ybor City.
Today we're going to allow plenty of time to recognize Rafael Martinez-Ybor, and I would like to start by saying that I was introduced to Rafael in the courtyard here at the Ybor City Museum by Chantal Heavy. It's been about 10 years ago now, Rafael. She introduced us and we became fast friends, and he said, "You've got to join me one day. The Rotary Club of Ybor City will be the best thing you ever do." It's been great. He just couldn't say enough about it.
I know what Rotary is about, what Rotary did, but the experience that I got coming here every Wednesday and meeting with the fellowship, we've always had a small club, as you're well aware, about 100 or so. So it's been a very intimate Rotary club. I would say it's one of a kind.
I called him and I said, I'm really interested in joining. What do I have to do? And he said, well, I'll sponsor you. I think you'll be a good member. Now, if he's ready, we're going to have Judge Ijo Salcines talk a little bit about your family and history and your accomplishments professionally as a banker and as a devoted husband to Cecilia and also with our Rotary Club.
In 1885, when Rafael's great-grandfather chose a fishing village and transformed Tampa town into the great city of Tampa. The only thing that they had in Ybor City when Mr. Ybor first came was swamp and wooded area. What Martinez-Ybor got started was producing 1 million cigars a day, Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays included.
I wanted to put up a statue of my great-grandfather. I made it a point I wanted to get a statue done, and I worked on it very hard. We sent out over 200 letters requesting funds, and we got donations to the extent of $36,000. That statue alone cost $30,000. It's 6 feet tall, it weighs 450 pounds. Ybor was only 5'2", but I wanted him to be 6 feet. And I wanted him to be looking towards, I believe it's east on 7th Avenue, because his first factory was on 7th Avenue and 13th Street, which was a wooden factory which he donated to the workers. It became the Círculo Cubano, the Cuban Club.
But let me tell you something about him. He wasn't born in Tampa. He was born in Havana, Cuba. And as a little boy, was brought back to Tampa.
We lived on Cleveland Street, and I went to Goree, but Drew Wilson, I would have started plant, but the family left for Miami. I did get my confirmation and my first communion at Sacred Heart. I went to Jesuit for my catechism classes. I grew up in an Anglo neighborhood, so my primary language was English. But thanks to my grandfather, Rafael, who was my mentor and my second father, he would insist that when I went into his house, I would speak Spanish, never thinking that it would help me in the future. I loved Havana when I got there. I was 22. I started working in a bank. I worked there 10 years until the revolution came on I told my wife that we were leaving, but it took us a year and a half to get out. I came back to Tampa in '78.
You know, in Tampa, there was a Martinez-Ybor that brought the cigar industry to Tampa. Yes, I know. That was my great-grandfather. Have you ever considered coming back to Tampa? And he did. And he joined this club, and he has been an outstanding member of this club. He has served as our president.
I think one of the main things that I wanted to do during my presidency was I noticed that we had sister cities. So we picked Oviedo, and it took a while working with the Sister City Committee, but it was finalized about 4 or 5 years later. So that was one of my main objectives at Rotary. My experience during my presidency was, it was a blast.
He is a tremendous worker. He is a tremendous organizer.
Well, I was always nervous. I get very nervous. I'm an introvert, believe me. I'm not a speaker. I wish I were like my grandfather, who was the youngest son of Vicente, and he would talk like EJ. But he would give you interesting things like EJ. The pleasure that I get out of doing something and the pleasure that I get out of helping somebody during my years in banking. And I have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every bit of it.
So please join me in a big applause to none other than Rafael Martinez-Ybor.
I wanted to follow the footsteps of my great-grandfather, keep his legacy alive, and certainly my grandfather, Rafael. Whatever you learn in life, you never know when it's going to be handy. In my life, I was a banker. My dear ex-boss here, Mr. Divers, I traveled throughout Central America 4 times a year, but it opened a lot of doors, learning Spanish. So whatever you learn in life, you never know when it's going to come back at you and help you in some way that you will be able to help someone else in your life. And all these buildings on 7th Avenue, to me, are the monuments that are still standing for these immigrants and made from a swamp, what you see today. But it's still Ybor City.
It's a very emotional day for me because I truly consider Rafael a member of my family and has been our father figure for many, many, many years.
I started working as a server in 1998. 2 of the first people I waited on was Mr. Divers and Mr. Ybor. Over the years, and all the Christmas parties that we've shared together, Rafael and I have become very good friends. Rafael Ybor, it is an absolute pleasure to be in your company. Thank you.
He was our first initial recipient of the Matilda Martinez Leadership Award given by the City of Tampa Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council. And every time we have this award, I always think of him, that it embellishes the award by the fact that he was the very first recipient. So congratulations.
We stand, we presence, on the shoulders of giants, and this is the giant, right here. So, Rafael, thank you for what you've done for this club. Thank you for what you've done for Ybor City, for what you've done for the city of Tampa. And thank you for being who you are. Thank you very much.
I am so honored to be your friend. Thank you for leaving a legacy of kindness and of service. And that really speaks to the character of our city. Because our city is a kind city. It's a welcoming city. It's a city where people roll up their sleeves and get the job done. And those are the attributes of Rafael. I'm so pleased to be part of this celebration of your life and your service today. Thank you.
I love you, Rafael. You are a good man. You always think of others first. Thank you for being you, and you've done great. Your friends here are always appreciative of what you have done and who you are. Thank you.
I love you, and of the 14, going on 15 years as a member of this club, you welcomed me with open arms and made me feel very comfortable and always checked on my heritage and my family. I love you and thank you so much for everything.
You've been an inspiration, certainly to many of the members in this club. You've been an inspiration to me. You deserve every bit of the acclaim that you received today. You deserve far more acclaim that you have received here today. My little humble self, thank you for the part you played, unknowingly played, in my life and the inspiration that you provided to me. Thank you.
I have to say, among the employees at the bank, you, Mr. Ybor, were the most well thought of and well loved executive. You were known, as many have said here today, for your kindness and your humility, and I've never forgotten you, and I'm proud to be a member of this club with you.
You're an asset to our community and to our profession, and to you a continued, and your lovely wife Celia, a continued happy life from now till eternity. Thank you.
You couldn't have a better business partner than Rafael Ybor. In the years that we worked together, nobody was more conscientious, more focused, more interested in serving other people. The happiest people I've known are the people who enjoy helping other people. And I learned that from Mr. Ybor. Thank you. I love you too.
You will never see Jerry or Rafael without a suit and a tie on, impeccably dressed. Both are the consummate professionals, dear friends, but thank you for being a role model for all business people. Rafael, we love you. Thank you for being a dear friend, a client for many years. Congratulations.
But over the years, I am so honored and pleased that we have been friends. We've become closer as I became involved in the museum. And I just want to tell you that a project that you started over 30 years was completed last October. The bust of his great-grandfather was mentioned as a gift from the Rotary Club. When you faced it, you heard about Vicente Martinez-Ybor. To the left of the statue is the board members from the Rotary Club that year. But there was a space that was just plain old white marble. So we said, we need to complete this. So now, as of October 24th of last year, there's a plaque honoring all the work that Rafael has done with the museum and to keep the history of Ybor City alive. And he does that every day. He's the best history book we have. So thank you, Rafael.
Rafael, I joined this club in 1977, and the following year you joined, and ever since we have been very good friends. We both have been bankers in this community for many, many years. I got to know you and your wife Cecilia very well, and I wish you the very best, and I love you very much. Thank you.
I always enjoyed saying hello to Rafael because he's one of the few people I never wrote anything bad about. So I never had to worry about him being upset with me, and so that was always great because there's nothing bad you can say about this man. He's a great example to everyone. Always a gentleman. He helped me love Ybor City history, and all you do is thank you.
I don't know, a few words it wouldn't be enough. Man has done so much for Ybor City Rotary, for the city of Tampa. Unbelievable how man can come into such a small package and do a big job. Thank you, Rafael. It's been wonderful to be part of your life as well as mine.
Here we are today 10 years later, I've made a tremendous amount of friends that have become close family, including Rafael, and I really have you to thank for that. Thank you.
And this young man here I'm so proud of him because I sponsored him. He's our president. He's a good family man, a good Rotarian, and a dear friend. So this may sound corny, but this is like the icing on the birthday cake of my life. So thank you so much, Father.